Now, those of us in the military, we know that we move around every 2 to 3 years. Some of us that stay in, we're going to have that 20-year career. Having that 20-year career and moving 2 to 3 times every 2 or 3 years, it's going to add to about 7 to 8 moves in your 20-year career. Now, it's important that while you are moving all of this around the country in all kinds of different places, that you maintain healthy relationships with both your friends and your loved ones. Now, I have not been in the military 20 years, and I have not moved 7 or 8 times, but I have moved 3 times. I've lived in 4 different states and 2 different countries. I've gone from Colorado to Texas to Mississippi to New Jersey, then here to Japan. And it's very important that you know the different ways to maintain those healthy relationships, and those come with being active within the military, being active off base and with the civilian population, whether you are in the U.S. or in a different country. You need to maintain those relationships while you are in the locale with those individuals that you want to maintain those relationships with, and you need to maintain those relationships when you are not around or possibly on a TDY or deployment. Now, the University of Melbourne says that if you have a sense of personal satisfaction, it's typically because you have a sense of belonging. That sense of belonging can come from people on the base, it can come from people off base, loved one, family members. Sense of belonging can come from anywhere. Now, something that takes away from your personal satisfaction is that feeling of loneliness. A lot of people have that feeling of loneliness when you go to a new base, you don't really know anybody, your support structure is gone, and really you're not going to have those healthy relationships probably for at least a couple months after you get there. Now, the Journal of Family Issues says that the military is very career-oriented, not as much family-oriented. So it's important that you prove the military wrong and make family your priority, because family is your priority, and they are going to be the key to your personal satisfaction. You are going to take them to every base you go to, unless you are going on a remote tour, and they're going to be there with you. Now, helpguide.org says that even when you are separated, that separation adds conflict to your personal relationships, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Sometimes the conflict can actually strengthen the bonds within your family. Now, this is done by separation, makes the heart grow longer, all of those sorts of things. It's just one of those things that you have to realize when you go TDY, that it really does not have to be a horrible experience. That separation can be good for your family. Now, when you are gone, there's tons of different ways that you can keep contact with those people that you love. They have teleconferencing, video conferencing, email, care packages. There's millions of different ways that you can keep in contact. Even sending a letter once a day, once a week will keep you contacted and keep others knowing what's going on in your life. And keeping them in the loop of your life is probably what's going to help you stay sane while you're TDY or deployed. Now, another way that you need to build those strong relationships is being active with your coworkers. That comes with being active on base, knowing things that you can do on base with your coworkers, so that those relationships that you have with them isn't just work-based. Because when it is just work-based, once you go home, that whole support structure is gone, and that's not going to help you when you run into problems at home. Making sure that you always have someone that you can call if something goes wrong, you need help, you need a flat tire, help with that, anything like that can really come from your work environment. Now, places that you can go to find things to do on base is UKOTAsupport.com here at UKOTA. There's listings there all the time about things going on base. Now, when you do leave UKOTA, or at whatever base you're at, it's important that you don't sever those support networks. Your friends can still help you out, even if they're not in the same country as you are. And that can be done with things, emotional support, things that you need, just to talk about, tell them about how hard your new base is, anything that will get you to talk about what's going on, because communication is the key. Communication will keep that support network going, so you can continue going at your next base. Now, another way that you can keep your relationship strong is doing things off base. It's some of those cultural things or unique things that you do with your family that really can help strengthen those bonds. You don't have to stick this with your family either. Once again, going off base doesn't mean you can't take people from on base with you. You can take people from on base, go off base, enjoy the culture, have new experiences, build your relationships, and it'll go even better from there. Now, we've discussed 4 different ways to keep relationships strong. Those ways were being active within the military, being active within the civilian population. You don't just have to stay on base. You need to keep those relationships strong while you're here and also while you're gone. And remember that deployments do not have to be a negative thing. Now, there are 2.69 million military members in the world. All of those military members are going TDY, doing all sorts of things that bring them away from their family. So with all that many people out there, there's really no reason for you to ever feel alone. Thank you all for listening to my speech.